Have you ever had that feeling that the market is personally out to get you? You know the feeling. You see a stock crashing, you finally sell, and in that exact moment, it instantly recovers. Well, today we're going to decode that exact feeling. It's called a liquidity trap.
Oh man, we have all been there. You're watching a key support level, and then it just shatters. Your stop loss gets triggered, or maybe you just hit the panic sell button yourself. And then, like clockwork, the price snaps right back up, leaving you in the dust. It feels like a personal attack, doesn't it?
So here's the secret. That perfect V-shaped recovery, it's almost never an accident. It's not just random market noise. Nope, it's a deliberately engineered event. Traders call it a few things: a liquidity trap, a sweep, a stop-loss hunt. And today, you're going to learn exactly how to see it come. Okay, so first things first. Before we can learn to spot these traps, we really need to get inside the psychology of why they even happen in the first place. This quote just nails it. It gets right to the heart of the problem for the big players, the institutions. I mean, think about it. If you wanted to buy 10 million shares of a stock, you couldn't just put that order in. The price would explode, and if everyone knew you were buying, nobody in their right mind would sell to you. So what do? You have to force them to sell. You have to create panic. And this haunted plot story is the perfect analogy for it. The big institution is the buyer who wants the land. And us, retail traders, we're the stubborn landowners holding on. So to get our shares at a discount, they can't just ask nicely. They have to manufacture a scary story. They have to create a haunting, which in the market looks like a fake breakdown, a sudden crash, anything to make us sell out of desperation. All right, so now we get the why. Let's pull back the curtain and get into the how. We're going to look at the literal playbook institutions use to engineer these traps and hunt for our shares. It's really a four-step dance. Step 1, they force a breakdown. They'll actually short the stock just to shove the price below a level everyone is watching. Step 2, that triggers the fear. Alarms go off, stop losses get hit, and panic selling begins. Step 3 is where the magic happens. While everyone else is frantically selling, they're on the other side quietly absorbing every single share. And finally, step 4. Once their order is full, they buy back those initial shorts, which is what causes that sharp V-shaped recovery. It's a controlled demolition and a rapid reconstruction. Now, the best part about this whole playbook is that it leaves fingerprints. It leaves a trail of evidence all over the chart. If you know what you're looking for, you can become a kind of chart detective and tell the difference between a real crash and a manufactured trap. So let's decode those visual clues. Okay, check this out. The differences are night and day once you see them. A real crash has super high volume. It's like everyone is sprinting for the exit at once. A trap, though, happens on suspiciously low volume. That's your first massive clue. And then look at the candles. A real crash prints these big, fat, solid red candles. A trap leaves a telltale sign, a candle with a long lower wick, or a tail. That tail is screaming at you that the price got pushed down hard and then bought right back up, aggressively. And that little tail on the candle brings us to the single most important piece of evidence. This number right here. This is the key. This is how you confirm you're looking at a trap and not the real deal. This 50-50 ratio is your smoking gun. That long tail is a giant flashing sign that says rejection. It happens because the institutions might short the stock intraday to cause the panic, but they have to buy back those shares to close their position before the market closes. So a candle that looked like a terrifying solid red brick at 1 p.m. can transform into this thing with a massive rejection tail by the close. That transformation is your proof that the move was a manipulation. Now, knowing these clues is great, but let's be honest, manually searching for them chart by chart would be a ton of work. So let's do something way smarter. Let's turn this knowledge into an automated tool. We're going to build a scanner that finds these setups for us. So this is our blueprint. It's basically a 5-point checklist for our scanner. Number 1, it has to find a clear base or demand zone. Number 2, it looks for the sweep, where the price actually pushes below that base. 3, and this is critical, it has to filter for low volume on that breakdown. 4, it has to see our rejection signal, that long lower wick. And finally, number 5, the confirmation. The price has to recover and close back inside that original safe zone. Now let's get a bit more technical and see how you'd actually build this in a tool like ChartInc. First, for the base, we find a stock trading in a tight 10% range for 20 days. Next, the breakdown.
We just check if the current low is less than the 20-day low. Then, the volume filter. We make sure the volume is below its 10-day average. Now for our big one, the big tail, that formula mathematically calculates our 50% rule. And finally, the reclaim confirms the close is back above the old base's low. Put them all together and the scanner works its magic. Okay, charting is great, but I know a lot of you use TradingView, so no problem. You can build the exact same logic using its coding language, PineScript. Let's walk through the code step by step so you see exactly how each of our rules gets turned into a working script. All right, step 1, we have to define the demand area. Base length just lets us tell the script how far back to look, in this case 20 bars, but the key line is base low. This code looks back over those 20 candles and finds the single lowest price point. That becomes our floor, the line in the sand that needs to be broken for a trap to be set. Step 2, we need to filter for that low volume breakdown. The is below baseline is a simple true or false check. Did the current candle dip below our floor? Then we calculate the average volume. The real filter is low volume. It only says true if the volume on this specific breakdown is less than the average. This is how we automatically weed out those genuine high-volume crashes. Now for step 3, where we code our big tail rule. This is actually pretty cool. First, the script calculates the candle's total height, the candle range. Then, it calculates the length of just the lower wick. Finally, has big tail becomes true only if that wick makes up 50% or more of the entire candle's range. It's our mathematical confirmation of that strong buying rejection. And for the final step, we put it all together. The is recovering line just checks if the candle closed back inside our safe zone. The last line, liquidity trap, is the master switch. It will only signal an alert if every single one of our conditions is met: the dip below the base, the low volume, the big rejection tail, and the recovery. This ensures we're only alerted when the entire anatomy of a successful trap is present. But hold on, there's a final twist, because this game isn't just played at the bottom to create panic. The exact same playbook is run in reverse at the top of a trend to create a very different emotion: greed. This quote captures the topside trap perfectly. Imagine a stock that's been on an incredible run. It's like a train nearing the end of its line. Now, to sell their huge number of shares, the big players will give it one final push just past a key resistance level. They touch the boundary to bluff you into thinking the train's going to keep on running. They're manufacturing pure FOMO, fear of missing out. When you see it like this, it's clear they are just two sides of the same coin. At the bottom, their goal is to buy, so they create fear to get shares from you. At the top, their goal is to sell, so they create greed and FOMO to sell their shares to you. And while everyone is excitedly buying this so-called breakout, they are quietly unloading, which leads to a rally on the downside. In other words, a crash. So really, the big takeaway here is this: a chart isn't just a record of price. It's a battlefield of psychology. It's telling a story. And by learning to read the clues, the volume, the wicks, the context, you can start to see the story behind the price action and hopefully avoid falling for these traps. The chart is always talking. The real question is, are you listening to the plot twists?